Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So similarly to the other 6 fan arts video that I did, I decided to do another kind of like themed video where I draw 6 characters pertaining to a certain theme, and this time I am doing VTubers like I said I was going to from the last video. I am still gonna do at least one more 6 fan art challenge, which will be anime characters like in general, and I know a lot of you guys left comments in the previous video requesting certain characters, so I did make a list and I have I think 5 for surely picked out, and I might add one of my own, or I will look and sift through the comments once again to see if I can fill up the space. But today I am drawing 6 VTubers today, so yeah. So all the VTubers that I chose are ones that were either suggested or ones that I frequently watch, because I like to make fan art of people, or of people I guess, that I am more familiar with or I know of. Like, I don't like making fan art of like stuff for a fandom that I am not participating in or I don't know of, just because I feel like I should have at least somewhat of a general knowledge before jumping into making the fan art, but that's just like a personal preference. You guys can do whatever you want. So we're starting off with Chiho Han, and he is a Korean VTuber, but he frequently speaks like English to the best of his ability, and I think it's really cute. So yeah, he's one of the, like, I think he's like one of the only Korean VTubers that I watch. The most of the VTubers I watch are either part of the English ones or of the Japanese ones. Okay, so yeah, so we're starting off with Chiho, and then after Chiho it will be, actually, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm decided to paint in Tool SAI this time instead of Clip Studio Paint, because I still get frequent questions about my brush settings, so I'll make sure to put the brush settings here or at the very beginning so that you guys will have that for this video. I'll just make sure to have screenshots, but also you can check out my Instagram, and I have a whole highlight with my most frequently used brushes. But yeah, I'm working in my painterly style on Paint Tool SAI, and I actually like working in this style a little bit more than Clip Studio Paint, just because Clip Studio Paint has that little lag in the color wheel for me, but also just the texture of the brush for me. I like this one a little bit better. It's just a little bit sharper, but also softer when I need it to be softer, so I really like using it. You'll see in the next person I draw that I kind of like the whole melding of the colors and the textures and stuff, and this looks a lot nicer. Yeah, and I work with one brush pretty much for the painting process, and I use a different brush for the sketching process. But yeah, I think I've only caught 2 streams of Chiho, so while I was drawing him today during the recording session of this, I caught the one where he was playing Animal Crossing and he was wearing like the yellow outfit, and like the whole chat was calling him a banana, but then he was going like quack 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 or whatever and it's like him as a duck or something. And then there was another one I caught, I think it was like one of his Mario Kart ones that I caught more recently. But yeah, had a lot of fun drawing him. I really like his design. It's very like elegant, very sleek, and I love looking at like traditional clothing, especially of like more like Asian cultures. I just really like the long flowy fabrics of a lot of cultures that have like traditional clothing. I just think it looks really pretty and really nice. Okay, so starting off with the next person, and it is a English VTuber, and her name is Miyoshino Shiki. Yeah, so I actually found her via those VTuber introduction videos, and her introduction videos stuck with me for such a long time, so I was like, why not watch some of her streams? And like, I actually really like her personality, and her whole entire avatar I think is just really pretty. So like the color combination is very much up my alley, and just her personality is really cute. So I tried to make sure that if the VTubers model themselves have anything kind of like on their hands, or they have like distinct features, I tried to include a hand in each of these little portraits, because for me it's harder to draw anything but a portrait within these little boxes, just because maybe it's because of the size I have it set at. It's just hard for me to work with, I guess, because right now it's at 100%, and you can see it's still fairly small. Okay, but on to the VTuber. So Shiki's introduction. She had a really cute introduction, and those introduction videos was made by Shell-san, I think. Shell? Which is another VTuber, and she made a really cute like intro, kind of introduction video that people can follow as a format to introduce each of their like models and stuff, and I think it's really cool. I was gonna draw Shell, but I kind of decided to just stick with the ones that I was familiar with. I never really watched her content that much, hence why I didn't include her in this video. But yeah, so I did 2 females and 4 males this time, just because I didn't want to loop too many people in together. A lot of the female VTubers that I watch are from like a specific generation and entertainment. I don't know what they're called. Like, they're from the same series, I guess, like when they're released. But yeah, I had a lot of fun drawing Shiki though. As you can see, it's like slowly fleshing out the sketch and stuff, and I had to lower her mouth. And I feel like painting is just a lot easier for me to make edits like this. I don't know who else is it. I think it's the 4th person I draw, I think, that I make like a more of a major edit. I don't remember if I filmed it though. It might have been like an afterthought. But yeah, I had a lot of fun drawing her. Her color scheme is very much up my alley. I watched, oh, what is it? Actually, I think she's live right now. I think she's doing some horoscope readings or something. But I watched a few of her stuff, and she's quite humorous and very funny. So I really like that. And yeah, I don't know what else to talk about. I feel like I have less to talk about in terms of VTubers. I don't watch them too much, but I watched them enough that I have favorites, I guess. There was like plenty of different VTubers I could have picked. I'm gonna say this right away. What's his name? Haru Kaida? That VTuber I was going to draw, but his aesthetic and demeanor is a little bit too similar to another 2-ish people I draw that have similar hair color, so I wanted to kind of avoid it. Because I tried to pick different VTubers that had different aesthetics, because I think what's great about looking at different VTubers is their models are so well done. Like, especially the ones that are done like by the pros and stuff, or like people who do VTuber models a lot, because their designs are so like intricate, the color schemes are beautiful, the little detailings and stuff are just really cute, and just like everything just melds together so nicely. So like, even for me, like part of the reason why I pick certain VTubers to even watch is just me wanting to look at the model because it's so pretty. And I feel like Shiki and Chiho, and there's a couple other people in here that I definitely do the same thing. Like, the reason why I started watching them is because I really like their models design. I'm like a noob at design, but I do like a certain aesthetic, I guess, or color schemes, which Shiki fits right into that alley. Yeah, I had a little bit of difficulty figuring out her hair at the in the first part of this, because of, I feel like for me sometimes these get a little too like matchy with the references I'm using, but I feel like it was a good experimentation in terms of trying to get likeness to the best of my ability. Add a little bit of yellow to hers, and in the end I'm gonna add a white stroke over everyone's model. Okay, so now we're starting off with the next VTuber. Now, Kanae is like the VTuber that kind of pulled me into watching all the rest of the VTubers, I think. I saw a few clips of him just being... He's like wholesome and cute, but also low-key insane. I don't know. I think it's because like I am personally a fan of a lot of, what are they called? Utaite? So like Mafu, Soraru, like those people. Amatsuki, Shonen Tea. So those people, right? And I was watching a lot of like Soraru stuff, because I think Soraru has the like, I like his voice the most. I think it's just because it's so soft and relaxing, and I feel like the tone of his voice is quite nice. And he played a few games with Kanae, and I really like their dynamic. It's funny because like Soraru is like more like cool type, or like trying to come off as cool. Well, I guess he is cool, but then Kanae is like the type that will tease him, and I think it's really funny. But yeah, as you can see, back to the drawing, I did restart Kanae's, and I had the urge to restart it again now that I'm looking at the final. I am following the most recent live stream that he did, because as I was drawing Kanae, his live stream was on. I think him and Kuzuha were live streaming the Pokemon United game, which I didn't really watch too much. I did have it in the background as kind of like background noise, but then I quickly switched over to listen to a podcast because I wanted to catch up on Rotten Mango. So but yeah, Kanae was the one I watched like the most, and I feel like because he also has a lot of subbed content where like a lot of fans sub different moments of his stuff, and I watched a lot of them, so I get kind of more of a look into his personality. And like, I enjoy watching him play with other VTubers, but also watching him play Apex I think is fun. I've never been really like a fan of watching people play Apex, but I do like watching him, Soraru, who else is there, Kuzuha, what's the other guy's name? I don't know how to pronounce his name. Naruse? Nars? It's like NQ something. Don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, that was kind of like the reason why I got even introduced into Kanae's video. And yeah, I think that's about it. So the reason why I restarted his is that I don't know if it's just the placement of the eyes in the second portion of it that I didn't like, so I started to edit it out. But then by the time I tried to redraw it back in, it just looked completely off. So I decided to restart, and as you can see, I shrunk his eyes because they were a little bit too big. But it's easier for me to make those changes because I can just paint over those little gaps, and then there it looks like nothing was moved, right? So yeah, I chose this outfit just because it was the most recent one, and I think when I was looking on the VTuber wiki, this is like the closer one that they have of his model that isn't like his original. And the reason why I didn't pick his original was because the style of his hair is very similar to Chiho, which has like the shorter haircut with the long kind of ponytail at the back. So I didn't want to accidentally draw the same thing twice, so I decided to go with the shorter haircut. And I took out his little, I don't remember his mascot's the little cat's name, but I took him out as well. And I couldn't draw Kanae without drawing Kuzuha, so here's Kuzuha. And I had a whole plan like in my brain of how I wanted to draw him. As you can see, I immediately put where the hands are gonna be and kind of I wanted his fingers to be showing because he has really sharp fingernails, right? These really long nails. So I wanted to have that visible, but I realized I don't have a lot of practice drawing hands that are foreshortened, and in the pose that I have it, so if you put your hands together like this, kind of with your fingers kind of spread out and each tip touching each other, you have the middle finger and your ring finger kind of jutting forward, and I didn't know how to draw it without fussing with it too much. Like, I probably could have done it if I drew it vaguely and painted it, because I feel like I have a lot of an easier time looking at the planes when I'm painting it using values rather than doing it with lines, if that makes sense. Because like, I think it's because in real life you don't have lines surrounding like the contour of an object, right? It's just value to value, right? And so I could have done that, but I feel like I didn't explain this earlier. So I did Chiho and so I did Chiho and Shiki on the same day, and then I did Kanae, Kuzuha, and the last two all in one day. And each of these take about, okay, with the exception of Chiho took an hour for his, and then the rest of the ones took at least an hour and a half. I think Shiki and maybe the last person, if not Kuzuha, took closer to 2 hours. I'll have to take a look really quick, but I think that was the case. So I had too much like time sitting and drawing, so I got too frustrated drawing the hands in that pose, and I felt like I didn't want to deal with it during the painting phase, because I think I mentioned this before, if I can make it clear in the sketching phase, it's better for me to do that so I don't have to fuss with it during the painting phase. So I decided to change his hand position so that it's just kind of like splayed out right in front of him, so it looks like he's kind of showing off his hand in a more cheeky manner, I guess. His color scheme was a lot more simple, and I actually really like this because I got to play with a little bit more of a warmer white or silvery hair color, which I don't really get to do as much. I usually do cooler tones for hair, but because he has a little bit more red and more of a warmer black color, I decided to switch it up and do yeah, this warmer, almost like brownish, I don't know how to explain it. It's a warmer gray. It's a warmer gray, but I've been using for his hair. I added a little bit of purple into his hair as well, just to give it a little bit more dimension. And his actually was one of my favorites that I've drawn. I think Shiki, Kuzuha, and the last person I draw is like my favorite. I just think I did them okay. The last one I drew, like there's some things I could tweak because I feel like I lack the understanding of how to make someone look a little bit more manlier. I tend to lean people towards the cute side or like a little bit more daintier side in terms of males. So yeah, so the next person I draw is gonna look a little derped out, but I did try my best. But now that I'm looking at it, Kanae and the next person I would like to redo. So yeah, the next person is Ninomae Inan, actually don't remember her name. I should probably rewatch her debut stream where she introduces herself. But let's just call her Ina. So I decided to draw Ina because she's like the English VTuber I watched the most. And I think partially it's because, dude, her art is so good. I love watching her process and like the way she draws in Clip Studio Paint. It just, to me, watching her stuff is just relaxing, but like also just fun to watch because I love watching her process. And she does line art and like more painterly stuff too, and like her backgrounds and stuff are insane, and like she draws a lot of her own I think like excuse me, illustrations of herself and all that. Like, but I think any art that she requires for, let's say, her covers or something, I think she draws herself, and she's really talented. So yeah, and I think she's really cute. Like, her personality is really cute. So I've watched a couple of her videos, and I've watched the one where all of them are together, like her and her, oh no, I forget their group, but it has like Kiara, Callie, the shark girl, Gargura, and then Amelia or Ame. So yeah, I've watched their stuff a lot, and that was kind of like the group I was trying to avoid drawing too much. Like, if I had to pick another female VTuber to watch, or not watch, to draw, it would have been from that group too. And even though I drew Kanae and Kuzuha, I just felt like it made sense. I didn't want to draw another person from the same thing just to fill up space, like fill up you know, I usually try to make it half female, half male characters if I can, just to give it more variety. But I think this time I was focused more on design and who I watch. And even out of the whole groups, like of their group, I watch Ina the most, even compared to the other ones. Like, I think I watch Ina and then Kiara and then Gargura. I am so sorry. I know, like, I think she's like the most popular one, and I apologize, I actually don't know how to pronounce her name. But it's like the shark girl, the really shark one, like the really cute shark girl one. But yeah, I drew Ina, and I did struggle with her face a little bit. She does look a little bit derpy, and I'm pretty sure it's also because of the mouth shape is a little bit like wide compared to even her, like the one of her models is a lot more daintier and tiny, and it's kind of more like sweet looking. But I had a lot of fun drawing her hair for the most part. Her hair is a little bit more simple in terms I didn't have to focus too much on strands because of the two shapes that fall like next to her face are kind of like more tentacle-ish looking. So yeah, that's Ninomae Inanis. Okay, so this one I have a little bit of explaining to do. I think I had a lot of fun drawing him, but I think I'm the least familiar with this VTuber. So I'm drawing Aragami Oga, and the reason why I'm like not as familiar with him is because I don't watch too many people how do I explain this? I haven't watched too much of his stuff, but I fell in love with his model because of the color scheme. So I wanted to draw it. I think I saw him in a compilation video, or he was playing with, oh, what's her name? If I remember, I'll put the name up. But he was playing the Goose game, the Untitled Goose game, with this other VTuber, which I do not remember. She's like the wolf. I think she's a wolf, white hair wolf girl. And yeah, I just really liked his design. I don't really draw these types of characters too often, which seems a little bit more like stoic, more cool, more manlier characters. I tend to, like I said, I tend to draw cuter characters just because like I like drawing cute things, cute people. I tend to draw people looking a little bit younger by mistake. But yeah, had a lot of fun drawing Oga. And I remember reading a comment on one of his videos that I didn't really notice this until the comment, but I do appreciate it. His model's like neutral face is more like stern, a little bit more actual like neutral, right? So when he laughs or smiles, it actually looks like he's smiling and laughing, which I find a little bit more endearing compared to some other people's models, which look like they're always happy, because when they become happy, they don't look any different. So I really appreciate that about his model. There were some details of his outfit that I did not understand fully, and I didn't realize this until now, but that thing around his neck that goes down, is it supposed to be like representing a tie? Because if that's the case, then wow, I actually didn't notice that. But I had a lot of fun drawing him. I think it's because I don't really use this kind of green that often, nor do I use it with like a more of a black color, right? So black and green gives this really like, I don't know how to explain it, like techie, sci-fi-ish like color scheme, and I don't really draw anything using this color scheme, so I decided that I would like to draw him. Also because the texture in his jacket color is really cool, kind of has like that reptile skin texture to it, and I thought it'd be very fun to try to paint. So yeah, apologies if I didn't pick any of your favorite VTubers, guys. Like I said, I like to pick people that I am familiar with at least a little bit. So it's going to be similar to the ones that I'm going to do for the anime one as well. So if I haven't watched the anime or I do not know who the character is, most likely I'm going to avoid drawing them because I don't want to draw someone too out of character, if that makes sense. And I would like to not need to go and do like intensive research and watch clips to get a feel of the character, because I rather make sure it feels more natural to me to draw the character in the way that I know they are, if that makes sense. Hope you guys understand. I feel like it's just better for the character if I know what kind of a person they are, instead of just jumping in and being like, you have this kind of aesthetic, therefore you are this person, right? But yeah, I had a lot of fun drawing all these VTubers, and next time I will be doing a anime version, maybe a month from now, since this one's coming out like a month after everything after the other one. It came out like a month after the other one, so I am putting a white stroke because I did that for the other 6 fanart challenge, so I'm going to try to keep these consistent. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me draw the VTubers, and I think for the most part, I think only Chiho, Kanae, and Kuzuha were the ones that were asked of me to draw that I knew of. I think other ones were of VTubers that I was not familiar with, which I avoided drawing. So maybe in the future I'll do one that is a little bit more blind. We'll see. We'll see what I'm comfortable with. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I always appreciate that you guys enjoy requesting stuff for these videos. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!